Tuesday, August 8th, 2017. We had our prayer. We went back to the back room and had our prayer. This is a call to order. I don't want anybody to hear me.
It's working.
It's secret.
You're never opposed to me,
Did I hear some kind of strange noise out there? It's all right. Yeah, he's bad. Yeah, like a bad penny. Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Would you join me with the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Welcome, Mark. How you doing? Good, good. Good to see you, buddy. Don't beat up the old bald guy.
The first item on the agenda is a proclamation.
How about a roll call?
Roll call.
Do we want a roll call?
I think it might be appropriate.
Your lawyer might get upset.
Phyllis, are you here tonight?
Yes, I am, and roll call would be very appropriate at this point.
Okay, see, I got directions from the attorney. Can we have roll call now?
You bet. Councilmember Kelly.
Here. Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Lane is absent. Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Vice Mayor Best.
Here.
And Mayor Croft.
Here. Okay, we're going to go to item 2, which is introduction, presentations, and proclamations. We don't have any introduction presentation, but we do have a proclamation. And it is the official 60th anniversary year of modern Arizona Rangers. So do we have a... Okay. I'm going to read it. Would you ladies and gentlemen like to come up front, please?
Give Matt a chance to get in here.
Hang on a sec, because
Matt.
Matt wants to come around and get a picture.
There he is.
Yay.
Come up here.
Well, what timing, Matt?
It's on.
Paul?
Test, test.
Run your mouth off. I got these big ones. Thank you. Proclamation. Official 60th anniversary year of the modern Arizona Rangers. Whereas the law enforcement organization known as the Territorial Arizona Rangers was created by Arizona Territorial Governor Nathan Oakes Murphy and established in law by the 21st Legislative Assembly on March 21st, 1908. And whereas the Arizona Rangers was the first and sometimes for the residents of the Arizona Territory, putting their lives on the line just as our peace officers do today for the citizens of the great state of Arizona. And whereas the Territorial Arizona Rangers were disbanded on February 15, 1909, only to be reestablished by the surviving original Territorial Rangers in November of 1957 as an outstanding volunteer organization that is still dedicated to public safety, the welfare of citizens, and the preservation of the history of the original Ranger. And whereas the current Arizona Rangers consist of caring neighbors and friends who have a unselfish devotion to the ideals and values that have always made Arizona great, and who volunteer countless hours through their many Arizona Ranger companies by providing valuable assistance to the law enforcement agencies across the state in operations of search and rescue, disaster mitigation, traffic and crowd control, DUI task force, and assisting when one of the Arizona's finest had made the ultimate sacrifice. And whereas the Arizona Rangers provide time, energy, and financial resources for the myriad of youth activities and charitable events that depend on the service of these dedicated men and women. And whereas the Arizona Rangers serve as a constant reminder of the traditions and honor of Arizona's original heroes by keeping alive our rich and colorful Western heritage, while at the same time serving as models of an unmatched patriotism for the state and for our nation. Now, therefore, I, Darrell L. Croft, Mayor of the town of Chino Valley, urge all citizens to express their gratitude and appreciation to the dedicated members of the Arizona Rangers, their few but proud then and now, for their unwavering public service to our communities and the state of Arizona. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the town of Chino Valley to be affixed on this date, of 8th day of August 2017.
The Arizona Rangers currently have approximately 200 members throughout the state in about 19 different companies. The Lonesome Valley Company, of which we're members, is the largest company in the state, and we do assist various civic groups and law enforcement agencies. And as some of you may recall, we were at the night out just a couple of weeks ago. I think it's also they were trying to practice for the Noah's flood, second coming or something. But like most of you, we took off pretty quick. But that's the kind of thing that we do. We try to get involved with the communities. We try to assist law enforcement agencies. And one of the things that we're chartered to do is we were told that they want us to keep alive the history of the Arizona Rangers and to keep alive the history of the Old West. And so that's pretty much what it is that we do. We'd like to thank the town of Chino Valley for the proclamation. We appreciate it very much. And if you've got a second, we'd like to get a quick picture with the mayor. So hang on.
You want one of us?
Get the mayor in the center.
Do you want me to take it? You can be in there?
I don't want to be in the picture.
That's his excuse.
I'll give this to you. Alan, don't push your hand. Okay, there we go. Looking good. Okay. Any more comments? Thank you very much.
Why don't you jump in there for one as well?
Yeah, gotcha.
I get too much publicity as it is.
Statute of limitations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll let those ladies and gentlemen leave so they don't, and then we'll continue with the meeting. It's now time for call to the public. Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the comment is encouraged. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. The total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of the public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration, and as discussion at a later date, or responding to criticism. Do we have anybody except Paul, for, come up, Mr. Paul.
Don't start my 3 minutes till I get here. It takes me
Okay, you can sit back down.
Thank you, Mayor, Town Council. My name is Lee Paul. I live in Appaloosa Meadows 2. My purpose here tonight is twofold. Number one, I'd like to commend the council for choosing a Marine to be on the council. We have 2 Swabbies I know of, and a Marine will do us very well in the town of Chino Valley. And I'm sure you'll find that Mr. Kelly is a very, very good man. He's a Marine hero, and that's the way we look at him. So thank you very much for that. My second, excuse me, that's age. My second concern here is my trouble with the southern entrance to town. Now, we are equestrian oriented here, and lock, stock, and barrel look very good coming from the south, entering town, and I have no problem with that. Matter of fact, it's a wonderful thing to come up and see those magnificent horses. But as you're around the roundabout, continuing north, you come to that, I gotta say this, ugly thing that says, "Welcome to Chino Valley." Now, there's nothing on top of it but a bunch of boulders, and I think we should do something about that. Now, I have something for your consideration. I would suggest, we have one of the best sculptors in the United States right here in Chino Valley. Now, money is not a problem, so I'm not going to talk about that because I only got 3 minutes. But I would suggest that we put a statue, a large statue of our immediate past mayor in that monument. And he should be standing, you know, larger than life, with his hand out. Welcome to Chino Valley. Now that would be Chris Marley. Now, when Darrell Croft retires from the mayor,
You're out of order.
he would have his statue there, and it would go on down through the ages. Now, the statues, when they taken out of there, they don't have to be thrown out. We can put them down in Memorial Park as a tribute to the men who have given so much to our community. And around the bottom of the we could have little busts of each member of the council, which I think would be nice. Now, if you don't like that idea, I got one more. We're not only equestrian.
Excuse me a minute, you're getting pretty close to Lieutenant
I know, I'll
Vance
make it
coming
quick.
down here
We are
and
also
showing you the door.
We're also the weed capital of the West. Now, we have two kinds of weeds here, tumbleweeds and other weeds. Now, if you don't like the mayor statue idea, I would suggest a nice big tumbleweed in there. You know, bronze, great big one. And around the perimeter, down below, we could have those other little weeds. And they could be painted that ugly yellowish green color, but we'll get used to it, okay? But we should really do something with that monument. So thank you for your consideration in this matter. I appreciate it. And I hope my 3 minutes are up because I'm leaving.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate your comments.
There's another one.
Do we have anybody else that'd like to speak? Mr. Romney? Romley, Nomley, anything. You have, well,
Okay.
you asked for a little extra time, so you,
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Ron Romley. I'm the founder and the chairman of the board for Yavapai Regional Transit. I was asked to give this report tonight because we just finished the Paulden Plunge, which I came in front of you before. And all I can say is what a huge success this year was on the Paulden Plunge. Thanks to the town council and for your support and helping with this program. As you recall, we were talking about obtaining contributions from the community to help pay for the transportation and the pool, which would provide free entry into the pool, free transportation for the kids for the whole project. We got large donations and we got a couple small donations, but they all were appreciated. The donations came from out-of-pocket cash that people had and checks from businesses. We collected about $3,000, and we still got a couple checks that are coming in. Besides the town's contribution, most notable and the largest was $500 from the Chino Valley Community Church. Now that's the church directly across the street from McDonald's, the little one. And the smallest was, and one of the most notable, was we had two little ladies walk in our office and gave us $5 each to help the kids get into the pool. So Yavapai Regional Transit and the Paulden Foundation and the town collaborated together starting about 2 months before we started the project to explore how this is all going to work, because it was different from the previous 2 years that we ran it. YRT handled all the money and provided the transportation. The Paulden Foundation took reservations of all the rides, and they met the bus every day to issue the tickets out. And the reason we did that is because at the end of the period, I didn't want some kid open his drawer and find 5 tickets that he never used and 5 other kids not be able to go. So they lined them up, met them at the bus, issued the tickets as they got on the bus. The first couple of weeks, we transported more kids than we did in the previous 2 years combined. I don't have a complete report because we just finished Friday and we still got bills coming into us. But we hauled approximately 400 kids and adults to the pool. In transit terms, because we count them every time they get on the bus, we had 800 passenger trips. For some of the kids, that was the very first time that they had ever been to a public pool, and they had more fun. YRT drove 2,200 miles. There was only one day that we didn't have anybody to show up to take down to the pool. And that was the lowest number of kids, so 0 is pretty low. But the highest number was 18. The average bus carried 10 riders per day. Considering that the bus only has 14 seats, our buses were 71% full, which was fantastic. All the figures are not in yet, but our projections are that the $1,500 that you gave us helped defray the cost is going to come in just about right for us for what our expenses were. But I want to thank the Paulden Foundation for all their hard work, the support of the project. I also want to thank Vice Mayor Mike Best, Don Henderson, and myself, who volunteered to drive the buses 5 days a week for 9 weeks. All the donations that are left was placed in a restricted fund established so that it can only be used for next year's Paulden Plunge. As I said earlier, it's a great feeling to know that you have helped your community and that you had a very successful event over a 2-month period, and we are looking forward to next summer. Does the council have any questions? Thank you. Mike?
I got one comment to go ahead and make, and I think some of these kids that rode the bus need to be congratulated too, because when we only had 14 seats and they were filled,
Wait,
I had
I'm
kids.
sorry, excuse me. Because this is a call to the public item, the council cannot make comments or ask questions. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Thank you for everything you
You
did.
can do it next time.
Because you drive the bus quite a bit, and that really helped out a lot. But thank you very much for all your support.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Okay. Anybody else for call? John, you're going to come up for call? Okay. Superintendent Show.
Hello, John. I'm John Scholl, the superintendent of Chino Valley Schools. We made it through the first day of school today, so very excited. A couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, I wanted to thank the Chino Valley Police Department. If you were anywhere over on the east side today, over by the pool actually, we had territorial school, which is now pre-K through 2nd grade. And it seems like every single parent wants to walk their child to class. We have over 500 kids there and 86 parking spots. My understanding is that the traffic was backed up, I believe, all the way to, at one point, to Safeway. But it would have been much worse if it hadn't been for the police department, and in particular, Lieutenant Sean, who came up with a traffic plan and had officers out there to help alleviate some of that. We also had something similar on the west side at Heritage and Del Rio. Again, a plan, but over the past 2 years, we've basically driven a lot of that traffic over to the east side. We're about 25% less students on the west side now that we got territorial all the way occupied. So I, again, just wanted to thank the Chino Valley Police Department and their help in making it a little bit easier. We still want to encourage people to put kids on buses. It makes it a lot easier and for everybody. Now, the second thing is, I don't know how many people know, this is actually the centennial of the Chino Valley Unified School District. We were chartered May 23rd, 1918. And we had a meeting with Cindy Thomas and some other recreation staff to see how we can combine a kickoff of our centennial year along with a kickoff to Territorial Days and a kickoff to our football season for Chino Valley High School. So we all got together, and on September 1st from 5 o'clock to 6:30, 6:45 give or take, at Chino Valley High School, we're going to have an event, a centennial kickoff, a Territorial Days kickoff, and a football season kickoff, where for $2 you can get a hamburger meal subsidized by, I believe, funds that were meant for the fireworks. And we'll have other events. We'll have, I think there's some face painting going on, music, that kind of thing. And then when everything's said and done, we can all go down to the football field and see the first home game of the season. So I wanted to invite you all and invite anyone that wants to come to that event. Again, 5 o'clock, Chino Valley High School on September 1st, with everything going on the next day, including the parade at 9 o'clock. The pancake breakfast kicks off at 6:30? 6 o'clock. We have the 10K and 2-mile fun run. We have all kinds of stuff going on at the park. We also have the corn dinner from 3 to 7 to kind of cap the day. So all kinds of stuff going on Saturday, starting on Friday night. Thank you.
Thank you, John.
Anyone else that would like to speak? Hearing none, we'll go on to response to the public. Response to the public is an opportunity for the mayor to inform the public about how town officials address matters raised during call to the public as a previous meeting. We really have nothing for call to the public, so we'll go on to current events, summaries, and reports. This item is for information only. The mayor, any council member, or town manager may present a brief summary or report of current events and ask the staff member to provide the same. Presentation on information requested by the mayor and council will be made and questions answered. No action will be taken. Would you like to continue with what you were going to say a while ago now?
I was just gonna say that the kids that rode the bus, they would go ahead, and if they went the day before, they would let somebody new ride the bus that day, and they would go work out differently. So the kids showed as much grown-upness as anybody I've ever seen to go ahead and let all the kids out there ride the bus.
Okay, and the superintendent said something about things that are going on this September 2nd at 6 o'clock in the morning. The pancake breakfast starts at the senior center. 9:15, the parade, territorial parade kicks off. Also in Memory Park, I think at 8 o'clock, they start setting vendors up and booths and games. And then 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we have the corn dinner. So that's a full day and a lot of stuff going on. So we hope that you show up and participate. I would also like to thank National Night Out. It was really great. Thank you for the police officers and everybody that participated. It was more than, and then the hot dog man here, he cooked all night, turning hot dogs over, so.
They gave me a shower at the end of it, though.
You were hot, you were hot.
Okay.
Cooled you down.
So he had the best hot dogs I've ever eaten, so it was really good.
You got something?
No.
I was going to comment on National Now. Cooked 1,500 hot dogs, and there was 50 left over, so it was pretty good. And I think the only reason why they were left over is because it rained. Back to the recent shooting. I don't know if people have had the opportunity to see that online, the footage, but I would like to commend the Chino Valley Police, the old school, the police department on their training. Officer Pizzi in that video was very commanding in his actions and took charge of the scene, and I think he did a good job, and kudos to the training and to Mr. Pizzi.
And to the county officer.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any? Mike, anything else?
No, we're good.
Okay. Okay, let's go on the consent agenda. All the,
I forgot.
We forgot somebody.
The manager has something to say.
you never have anything to say. How come you have something to say tonight?
Every week I do.
Oh, yeah, you do.
She's a female.
And I'm not in trouble, really in trouble.
Was that out loud?
Yeah, I heard that, Jack. Mayor and Council, I just wanted to bring you up to date on a few things. We belong to the GPREP, Greater Prescott Regional Economic Development, and I don't know if I've communicated to you that they have a interim director right now on staff, but because we didn't have the position filled for quite a while, they're not charging any of the communities for participation this year. So we had budgeted $10,500 for that, and we won't have to pay for that for this year. So that's just kind of an FYI. I had sent to you a listing of people to be considered for the stakeholder group for EPS for the master plan stuff out at Old Home Manor. We're going to start contacting people to meet mid-September. So just kind of an FYI on that as well, because that's a big deal. It's going to be about a commitment of about 3 meetings for the stakeholders to participate in. I wanted to remind you that we have a study session next Tuesday on 2 development projects that are proposed for the town. And we have no council meeting on the 22nd, but we will have a council meeting on the 29th. Because the League of Cities is why we're canceling it, and all of you will be there except for Councilmember Miller. So. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Any of your, other of your staff that would like to say anything?
No, not tonight.
Can I go on now?
You may.
Thank you. Now we'll try the consent agenda again. All those items listed below are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion. Any council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. Is there anything, anyone like to pull anything?
No, sir. No.
Anyone over here?
That's good.
Ms. Lewis, would you read the consent agenda, please?
Yes, I will. 6A, consideration and possible action to approve recommended budget adjustments for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2017. B, consideration and possible action to approve financial report for the 12 months ending June 30th, 2017. C, consideration and possible action to accept the July 25, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to,
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda items 6A, B, and C.
is there a second?
I second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's go on to 7, which is action items. The council may vote to recess the public meeting and hold an executive session on any item on this agenda pursuant to ARS 38-431-03A3 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. Executive sessions are not open to the public. No action may be taken in executive session. So let's start with 7A. Consideration of possible action to approve new land uses at the police training facility. And Chief Wynn is not here.
Correct, he's not. He got stuck in traffic on 17 when they blocked the freeway down.
Okay.
So I'm going to be filling in. Get you some slides. So while they're loading the slides, you all know where the Chino Valley Police shooting range is, right next to the public range out Perkinsville Road. We're requesting the council to allow us to utilize some of the land directly to the east and west of the current police shooting facility. The land directly to the east would be, our goal is to utilize it for a small handgun range, for if we, or one of the users of the range has an officer or someone that needs some one-on-one training or something, they can pull them off the other range, or we have a small group that needs to use the range. They don't have to tie up the entire range. As you can see on the diagram here, so on the right side, this is directly east of our current shooting range. This is the area we would propose to use the new handgun range. The area to the left would be the area we'd like to designate for a training village. What it is some structures that we would put in there so we can practice scenario training with our officers. No live fire in that portion, would all be simunitions, which are the small little paint pellets if you've ever seen those be utilized. So it wouldn't be any live fire on the west side. We would do some berms and stuff like that, and the dirt we would pull for the handgun range, we would move over there to utilize that. So that's where we're looking to the future with, and the reason we're bringing it to the council today is we do have a little bit of drug seizure money that's been allocated for this project out at our facility. And so we'd like to get the council's permission to use the land for this project, because with our money and the money that the public range has for their 200 meter, we can combine and use some equipment to benefit both of us, where neither one of us has enough money to do anything alone. So if we get permission to use the land, we can start the development and planning for that joint venture together.
Questions on this side?
No.
Corey, question?
No, sir.
Just one question. So this is additional, I'm really not that well versed with all the layout that's out there now, other than the meeting room and so on. So this is additional land to what the police department has laid out for use at this time?
Correct. How do I get to the pictures? So, so currently, here's the public range on the right, where they have their handgun range, and then the far right is where their long rifle range is designated to be. Our range is towards the middle here, just to the left of those 4 stars, and then the area that's been graded over here
Yes.
is the proposed site for our tactical village where we'd like to do that. The reason we just kind of moved the weeds out of the way just to see what the contour of the land was without the weeds in the way. And then the area where the 4 stars is where we would propose to do the handgun, the shooting bay.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions?
Not yet.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. I make a motion to approve Chino Valley Fire Department's plan for new uses of currently vacant land directly east and west of the Chino Valley Police Department shooting range.
It's, you said fire department. so-
I'm sorry, police. Jack, you're rubbing off.
Okay.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's go to item B, consideration possible action to approve change order number 1 to the contract with Asphalt Paving and Supply Incorporated in an amount not to exceed $74,895.50 to add a portion of South Fire Sky Lane, West Road 1 North, and Gold Rush Way to the chip seal program to be completed this construction season prior to September 15, 2017. Mr. Straub.
Mayor and Council, thank you. This is sort of a rush job that we started putting together about 3 weeks ago. We have a large pile of chips that have been sitting over in our road yard for 4 years, 5 years. APNS, the contractor that puts the chip seal down for us, has a small window before the season ends September 15th. So we started putting this together very quickly. We looked at the chips to make sure they were still good. We got a revised price from APNS. They are not charging for the chips. So they reduced that from their unit price. We will load the chips into their trucks. We propose to go on these 3 roads, and one of these roads, as you remember, Farsky, was one of the roads supposedly tore up by our Center Street contractor. It was actually being scheduled for spring, the same budget year. But we're requesting today to move this up quickly, get it all done before the 15th of September. I apologize for the quickness of this. We didn't have much choice but to get it in front of you tonight so the contractor can go ahead and commit his forces to get this done. We will come in with our forces. We'll mill up the existing road. We've checked the base under it. The base is about this thick underneath the roads. Basically, there is no base. So we will haul in some base to put on this if I can find trucks. Right now, everyone's busy. Trucks are very scarce, but we're working on a plan to get some haul trucks using our available trucks and any others that we can beg, borrow, or steal to get the base down. We will process this in the next 2 weeks, have this ready to go for the double chip by the end of the month.
Okay, questions? Questions this side?
No questions.
None?
I'm happy with new roads.
Questions this side?
With doing this project, we were budgeted $250,000 for this coming year's budgeting. We're gonna use a large portion of that for this project. What projects are we not doing then by doing this
Councilmember
one?
Mendoza, the money in the budget was for the spring road chip seal. We're simply, and that was budgeted for that purpose, we're simply moving that up from the spring to late summer. So it's not going to affect anything that we hadn't always planned to do in the long run. It will not affect any other roads such as our Road 1 East project.
Are all three roads getting that full treatment that you're talking about in the milling? Or
Yes,
is that
sir.
just
All-
Fire Sky?
All three roads will get additional base put under the roads, and all three will receive a double chip and a fog coat.
Okay. So they should be good for a number of years then with
Yes, sir.
the more extensive.
Yes, sir. The key
Process.
thing is to get base under them, so many of our roads have no base. That's why they fall apart.
Thank you.
No other questions?
You ready?
I'm ready.
I'll make a recommendation to approve change order number 1 to the contract with Asphalt Paving and Supply, Inc. for 3 new double chip seal roads in the amount not to exceed $74,895.50.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's go on to item C, consideration possible action to approve the agreement for professional consulting service with Kimley Horn for improvement to the wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $8,900. Mr. Stroud.
Mayor, Council, our treatment plant was constructed about 13 years ago. Normally, at every treatment facility, you have a, quote, sludge drying bed, where you can put wet sludge with a moisture content of 50, 60, 70% in the bed to dry, so it can be run through our belt press more efficiently, and you take the liquid that comes off of that, since it is sewer liquid, and you run that back to the sewer plant for processing. We have no such facility now. So when we send our Vector truck out to clean out lines, to clean out stoppages, we actually have no place to dump this. So we are requesting that we build a sludge drying bed. It's been talked about for 4 or 5 years. We do have money budgeted to get started with this. We do recommend that we move ahead and get the design done, and then we'll come back for the actual construction.
Questions on this side? Councilman Mendoza, you?
No, I'm good.
Questions this side?
No, sir.
No question.
All right.
I make a motion to approve agreement with professional consulting services with Kimberly Horn for the design of a sludge drying bed at the wastewater treatment plant in amount of $8,900.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's go on to item D, consideration of possible action to approve the leasing service proposal from NBAZ Public Financing Services, a division of Zion First National Bank, an affiliate of National Bank of Arizona. Lease purchase agreement with ZBNA in the amount up to $825,000, and resolution number 17110 authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement and all related documents necessary to the consummation of the transaction contemplated by the agreement. all related to purchase of up to 8 police cars and potential purchase of certain public works equipment vehicles. Mr. Duffy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. About a month ago, we went out for an RFQ or RFP for providing the financing of our lease purchase equipment that we'd included in our budget. Zion's Bank was the only one that responded to the ad. However, their interest rate was 1.78%, and that's really what we're looking for. That's actually less than the last time we borrowed money from them. So they actually cut it by just a small amount. As you know, we've ordered $400,000 worth of police cars, and that's all we're committed to paying right now. And when our new Public Works Director gets on staff, we're going to ask him to evaluate our capital needs throughout the remaining departments, and working with the like community services and everything like that also. And then we'll bring those equipment needs to council for you guys to decide later. It's probably going to be spring before we do that on it. This money is actually going to be put into an escrow account so that we lock in the interest rate and we hold it. And then anything we don't spend, we just basically pay it back and pay the principal off on it. So, unless you have any questions?
Questions?
Nope.
Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve one, leasing service proposal with NBAZ Public Financing Services. 2, lease purchase agreement with Zion or ZB National Bank in the amount of $825,000. And 3, resolution number 17-110.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Executive session, we do not have an executive session tonight, so we can move on to item number 10.
Jack.
Mr. Mayor, I move we adjourn.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're adjourned.
You made it, Matt.
Wait a minute, I wasn't ready.
Okay. We can start again if you like.
Done good.
Nope,
Phyllis, do you have
signing off.
anything?
Bye, everyone.
All right, thank you.
Matt's got a 7 o'clock meeting.
Lonnie, everything okay with you, buddy? Isn't that the truth? I keep telling
I was gonna steal it.
I keep telling everybody it's pulling stupid again. Construction.